Hello, everyone. My name is Rudy Martinez, and today I will be presenting my web scraping project, Python Automated Financial and Sentiment Analysis. I'm passionate about personal finance, and this includes a variety of subtopics: investing in the stock market, real estate investing, and other core fundamental behaviors that lead to long-term financial success. So for this project, I chose to focus on one of these exciting topics: investing in the stock market. This activity can be daunting, and often as an investor, we look for certain metrics to inform our decisions. This is where my project question came into play. Will a company in the S&P 500 that has characteristics of financial strength also be associated with positive public sentiment? And can this analysis be automated at the click of a button? I'll be diving into the details of this project momentarily, but at a high level, I executed on this question by scraping companies from Wikipedia, scraping Yahoo Finance for key statistics, financial statements, and stock price history, creating a multi-layered stock screen to determine the company's financial strength using the Petrosky F-score as the method, and scraping FinViz news article headings to then perform sentiment analysis on those headings. And at the end of the whole process was analyzing the data and interpreting the results. The first step was to acquire Wikipedia page content and data for S&P 500 companies using the requests and beautiful soup packages. By using a table ID located in the HTML, I was able to pinpoint the table of companies and store it in a variable. Using pandas, I created a data frame with these companies and exported the results to CSV. With the CSV saved off, I used pandas to read the file, create a company list variable, and randomly select the company using the random package. This is the company that was used for the upcoming requests and analysis. With that company, I used the requests and beautiful soup packages on Yahoo Finance to acquire the company's financial statement page content and pinpoint the location of the financial data using div and class identifiers. I then deployed a for loop and a while loop to create statement headers and scrape each row of the financials. With pandas, I reformatted some of that data to be numerical, replaced null values with 0, and created a data frame that was exported to CSV for the 3 financial statements. I again used the exact same process and packages to scrape Yahoo Finance for stock price history, 5 years of it, and the key statistics for the selected security, both to be exported to CSV. All of that data can actually be found in this GitHub link here, if anybody's interested in taking a look there. Before diving into the automated analysis that runs off of these financials that were scraped, I first want to share the metrics that I implemented within the Python script. To gauge the financial strength of the selected company, I chose to calculate its Petrosky F-score, which is a financial indicator designed with 9 criteria based on profitability, leverage and liquidity, and operating efficiency. As you can see here, the criteria fit nicely with conditional statements focused on improvements of the metrics that are on screen. Each fundamental is given a binary outcome of 0 or 1 based on the condition and if it's met. Overall, an aggregated score that is higher is better, and it indicates the company has the characteristic of financial strength. The score typically ranges from 0 to 9 for each of these different criteria. Within the script that we have here, I read in each of the financial statements using pandas, initialized the count for each of the scores that we can see here. Then I created 3 separate functions that applied the conditional Petrosky F-score logic to the financial statements and added the binary outcomes to the score count as it went through that process. At the end, I called these functions, stored the results in a data frame, and exported the results to CSV here. I now had quantified the company's financial strength. However, I wanted to be able to measure public sentiment of that same company. To do this, I utilized the Natural Language Toolkit, or NLTK Vader submodule. This tool is a pre-trained model that uses rule-based values tuned to sentiments to evaluate text. The Vader tool can evaluate negations, contractions, punctuation, slang, and even acronyms, and it can store comments within a collection of text and produce a compound score that signifies negative, neutral, or positive sentiment with that particular text. You can see that all right here. As far as the Python code, the first step was to scrape news article headings from FinViz, which is a website, using the urlib.request package. I used an ID tag to pinpoint the headings in the HTML and created a for loop with conditionals to loop through and grab the stock name, date, time, and title of the news article headings. I then used pandas and the NLT kvader package to run a sentiment analysis using the sentiment analyzer on the headings, and which ultimately produced a data frame with the headings and their associated compound scores. This was then exported to CSV as well. After all data was gathered and processed, I developed the following visualizations. We can see a high-level financial overview of the first randomly selected company, Tesla. Based on the results of the financial analysis, we can see that this company has a high financial strength score of 7. It's had strong price appreciation over the last 3 years, and it shows overall company growth based on increases in return on assets, total equity, revenue, expenses, and relative maintenance of total debt. Based on the results of the sentiment analysis on the headings here, we can see that Tesla had a negative compound score for the majority of the time period that was analyzed. For our second company, Electronic Arts, or EA, we can see that this company has a mid-range of financial strength score of 5. It's had strong price appreciation over the last 5 years. It shows overall company growth based on increases in return on assets, total equity, revenue, expenses, as well as a relative maintenance of total debt, similar to Tesla. Based on the results of the sentiment analysis on the headings here, we can see that EA had a positive compound score for the majority of the time period that was analyzed. Restating my question, will a company in the S&P 500 that has characteristics of financial strength also be associated with positive public sentiment? And can this analysis be automated at the click of a button? For one, this analysis can definitely be automated. Our Petrosky results for this project showed Tesla to be a financially strong company with a sentiment score that indicates that negative sentiment outweighs the positive in its article headings. On the other hand, the results of Electronic Arts show that the company has a lesser financial strength score, but it also has a sentiment score that indicates that a positive sentiment outweighs the negative in its article headings. All in all, there may not be a direct association between financial strength results and sentiment results. However, this process is a great way to screen companies in the initial stages of investment searching. Before concluding my presentation, I will run the Python script to show how everything comes together. So I'll do that now. I'll direct your attention to the left-hand side where you'll see the different CSVs that have been scraped will begin to be produced. And it may take a moment or two. There we go. As an example, I'll pull up one of the income statements here, the balance sheet, the cash flow statement, the stock price history for that particular security, key statistics associated with it, the results of the financial strength score, and lastly, the sentiment analysis for the headings and their associated compound scores. We also see a visual of the mean compound score over time for the particular company here. And with that, I'll conclude my presentation and thank you everybody for watching.